Data, what is this?
Hey everybody, and welcome to another week's lovely show and tell, our online makerspace. You can visit every week, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah, we're still doing this for 1 hour, the longest running show and tell in the world.
And now it's twice as long.
And now it's 1 hour long.
That's right.
And I feel like we've all been together for the last 105 plus days as multiple cities have been staying safe.
Yeah.
A lot of people returning to work and more.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing, even though we were physically separated and physically distant, we came together every single week. So thank you so much, everyone, for being a great example of what a community can do. There'll be some ups and downs, but luckily we've made some cool projects together over the last 3 months.
And speaking of that, it's time to check in with people around the community to see what projects they're building, whether it's 3D printing or coding or sewing or knitting or soldering or whatnot. We'd love to see what you're up to. So come on by and join us. We're going to kick it off with Kevin.
Yeah, our friend,
Digi-Key,
our partner, and more
buddy
in Minnesota. Hey, Kevin, how's it going?
Hey, guys, it's going good. How are you?
Good.
Hey.
Good. I can't believe it's been 105 days. I'm trying to decide if it's been a long 105 days or a quick 105 days. It's just 105 Mondays.
Turns out time is relative. It's exactly both.
Yeah, it's just a day at this point. There's no days of the week anymore.
Yeah. So what's going on?
You got going on this week?
Your basement.
So in my basement, my lovely basement. So I had a little bit of time off in the last week for family reasons, but I did finish up this project that I started a while ago. It's a pool temperature monitor. So I am using the CLUE as well as the Kitronic Zip Halo. So when you turn it on, let's see if it'll read here.
Okay, see the CLUE. You're a little blocky, but I see blue LEDs.
All right, let's get a little closer. It says the pool temperature.
Okay.
And if it gets above 69 degrees, it changes to red. And I'm warming it up, so just take a second here.
So you know when it's time to get into the pool, nice and comfy.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's just kind of a fun thing.
Too.
Yeah, it's nice and portable. It works really well. It's going to be a hot summer. It's a summer of sitting at home, so a lot of people have backyard swimming pools or whatever. And it's just a way to keep track of the temperature.
All right, that's awesome. Anything else going on?
Not a whole lot. We're kind of doing the same thing you guys are. We're trying to figure out how to get back into the life of Digi-Key. We're still all working remotely, except for the warehouse employees. They're working really hard. We're getting product out the door. We're getting Adafruit parts out the door. And we're still going strong on our new building.
All right, awesome.
Yeah, last week David showed off lots of things from new Digi-Key building and more. And so please continue to show us the updates. More drone footage as well if you have that lined up.
Drones are physically distant.
Yeah.
Everybody loves drone footage. And I'm hoping to get some images of the inside soon, because that's going to be really cool to see the different systems and how we're storing things. It's going to be pretty neat.
That's awesome.
Right on. And for the folks out there, just a little bit of reminders. So as Adafruit needed help, as we needed to get things shipped out, as New York was going through one of the most devastating and challenging crisis plural. Crisis. I just want to say, on a personal note and on a business note, Digi-Key was really helpful, and they helped all of you get your parts and all the things you needed, and they also helped us with all the logistics we needed to keep going. So thank you, everyone at Digi-Key. When you all have choices to purchase, Digi-Key took care of the maker community, so try to take care of them.
That's right.
Yeah, and we appreciate you guys as well. I mean, the maker community is exactly that. It's a community. Everyone's here for everyone. So we'll just say the whole community is open source.
Yeah.
So we've got everybody's back.
It worked out.
Sweet.
All right. Thank you so much, Kevin. See you next week or so.
All right. Take care, guys.
All right. Next up, let's go to Melissa.
Hey, Melissa.
Hello.
What's rocking out there?
Well, I had been working on Display.io for Raspberry Pi, and because I've been working in the graphics and stuff, that kind of has been making me want to get back to an old project. And the old project I wanted to get back to is I wanted to build this message board here, and it makes use of these RGB matrix panels that I got out of some pink pixel purses. They're 16 by 32 pixels. And so I've been designing this frame that is all going to sit in here, and it's all based on these 3/4 inch aluminum L brackets here, or angle brackets. And so it uses a lot of different pieces. And on the back, you can see it has a Raspberry Pi 3 with the RGB bonnet and little terminal block here for getting the power to all the panels.
That's awesome. Okay, you need to get like 5 or 6 pixel purses then.
I have 6.
Oh, great. You're set.
I did. Yeah, I'm going to have them all. It'll be almost 4 feet long here.
Oh, my goodness. All right, cool. All right, nice work, Melissa. I can't wait to see that. Scroll in the background with all the latest updates and news. It'll probably be like GitHub pull request.
Yeah, it's going to be Python powered, and I'm going to like be able to script the sign that way.
It'd be cool when the sign reports on its own software being updated.
Yeah.
The sign knowing itself. All right. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks.
All right. Next up, we're going to go to Noe Pedro. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Hey, there's the screen. Awesome.
I have a feeling it's going to be a Matrix themed
show and tell. Lots of matrices. This week, we took a RGB matrix, and with help from Jeff Epler, who wrote the RGB matrix library for CircuitPython, we put together little printed parts for making a slot machine. So it has a little spring-loaded handle in the back here. So if we hit that, we can trigger the little wheel.
Oh, man, that's nice.
Dead fruits.
No whammies. We have to do a press your luck.
It's definitely rigged.
I don't know.
Really fun.
Yeah,
it is very fun.
The graphics don't have it.
It's so funny. Literally, right before the show, we got
more,
little Digi-Key logo right
more rigged than regular casinos.
Yeah.
But just to show how easy it is to set everything up. Yeah, like Noah was saying, right before the show, we saw Kevin. We're like, oh crap, we got to get Digi-Key on there.
Yeah, you can guess which logo we replaced.
Go.
Boop, 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 boop.
Oh, nice.
A little cricket there.
Sweet.
Yeah, so the main thing here
is spring action.
Print and place little spring inspired by a cool maker named Sunshine.
Turbo Sunshine.
He had this like as a spring-loaded box. We're like, okay, let's have that be the handle.
Yeah, that'll work.
Nice little actuation there. And on the back, we have a nice little speaker, which we forgot to turn the audio up.
Yeah, I have it toned down because I've been hearing it all day.
That's how it works.
Here.
It's a nice loop, but yeah, it definitely gets annoying after a day.
Let me see if I can.
Not too loud.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this has got the PAM8302 amp with our little 40 millimeter speaker, and the RGB matrix is right underneath the feather, the M4 feather. So everything's mounted here all nicely. We have these little 3D printed feet. They're nice to prop it up.
Yeah.
And then we did have this pretty large frame that has like this little lip that allows the sheet of black LED acrylic to slot in. But it's kind of big, right? You kind of need a big printer to do that. So we got inspired by JP's design that he did for corner brackets. And we figured, yeah, we should probably do some corner brackets too. So these print on any printer because they're fairly small. You just print 4 of them. And then the feet are also using the same little mounting tab. So there we go.
Looks great.
And maybe we should, to stop it, right? We can do that, and then we can. It's a big chunk.
You can ripple.
So that's always fun.
That's cool.
Even the spring-loaded print and place part, so you can like make it bigger or smaller if you want. You can like adjust how many spirals are on there. And of course, you can adjust like how far away you want to have this acrylic LED, so you can have it be nice and blurry or nice and pixelated.
Did we mention there's MP3s? That was an MP3.
Yeah.
Streaming in the background.
Yeah. So you can do mixing with MP3 thanks to Jeff's code. And
Python's getting very powerful.
I was gonna say, like, this is absolutely amazing. It's all in Python. The code is human readable. You can put your own graphics and more on this. And then, of course, it's like, now I want to do a like press your luck version, and then it's a terminal and a screen. Like this is.
We're typing right now in real time. You can see it showing up.
Yeah,
it's funny.
It's one of the like. It kind of wraps up everything that we've been working on for so long with CircuitPython. It's so powerful, but this is what you want to do at so many projects. Like I want to have music, I want to have multiple tracks, I want to put graphics on, I want to have a physical thing, and then in the end you can make something like this, which was impossible to make.
No, this would have been insane earlier.
Yeah, this is great.
Real time too.
This is great.
I love this stuff.
Actually, hey, Scott, since I had Keith from Make, I added you on that email. You might want to send this project example to Keith.
Yeah.
Here, I'll just do some meetings while we're here. All right, cool.
And that's all we got. 3D Hangouts happened earlier today. We did a whole hour on showing, how to adjust all the graphics for that, and we did a little code walkthrough. So definitely check it out.
Right on.
All right, thank you, folks.
We're going to be showing the video and then the speed up video and more on tonight's show.
All right.
Thanks,
Okay,
folks.
cool.
Okay, more LED graphics. Once we added this library,
All
it's
right.
time for LED graphics.
JP, what you got going on?
Yeah, you're never going to guess what I've got, but it's more LED graphics. I've got the Big Daddy, this is still 64 by 32 pixels, but it's a 6mm pitch. And so what I've made, this is the digital protest sign, and I showed an early version last week. I've got it all put together now, and I have a guide that's written and should be out soon. So like Noe Pedro mentioned, I've built some little 3D printed corner brackets, and I had some side ones. They turned out not to be necessary, so I might call that optional in the guide. And those hold the LED plastic really nice and tight to the screen. I've also got one of our little UBEC buck converters involved here. So this is a little universal battery eliminator circuit we have. It's a buck converter that brings the roughly 9 to 12 volts that you'll get out of an 8 AA battery pack down to 5 volts and can provide the current that we need. Over here I have the feather. It's in a little sort of feather protective hut that I built, a little 3D printed thing to cover the feather and the RGB matrix shield. Yes, the house, the little feather house. There's a nice on-off switch to use on this battery pack, which allows us to boot it up. And now I have it running our slideshow code in CircuitPython. It's a really short little piece of code to do all this, which is nice. And I have it every 8 seconds switching between graphics. And the guide shows you how to build your graphics. The format that you'll use is a BMP at 64 by 32 pixels. And it's as easy as plugging it into your computer to change out the graphics. It just reads whatever's in the images folder. As long as you give it a legal name, it'll do its thing, and you can also adjust the timing if you want. So that is my project from last week, and is the new guide that'll be coming out soon. A little digital protest sign. And then a little tease of what I've got coming up this week is a collaboration that I did. I'm calling it Apex Legends times Adafruit times Sugru times me. This is
collab.
A little 3D printed companion robot that I built that's based on a friendly character from the game Apex Legends, whose name is Pathfinder. So this is all 3D printed parts with some parts sculpted out of Sugru, which is this rubberized moldable glue that I love, and I've been using it for like a decade from whenever it came out. So I was really happy to work on something with it because I genuinely use it all the time. So I've used it for some sculpting elements as well as holding a lot of stuff together. I made like little rubber gaskets that hold the shoulders on here and have kind of a nice rubbery, robot-y, flexible look, same with the neck cowl. This right here is a Pi portal, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it on. I've got a little on-off switch back here. And if I can avoid a reflection, we'll get... Let me turn up his volume. He's got voiceover lines from the game. He's got a NeoPixel eye face thing, and he's got his little chest emotes.
Grappling makes things much easier. Try it sometime.
And so the character is pretty chipper and gives you advice.
Good work. Let's remain friends.
When you do your thing. So I thought,
don't blame yourself. Blame me.
I like the integration of the Pi portal into a prop. I think this is like the first time we've seen a prop with a Pi portal, but it's a perfect use, especially, it's like you've seen characters and they have like, the movie Moon or
right. Movie Moon had, I think, the most memorable one where it had this like emoji.
But only there was like happy or sad
emoji where it's dispensing clones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a really powerful and appealing thing, I think, in a character to have a very, very simple face like he has. It's just an eye that's lit most of the time. And then use these sort of symbolic emotions that you can connect with it pretty well. Similar in some ways to like Eve from Wall-E or Wall-E. There's
Yeah, it kind of like avoids like the uncanny valley problem of like how do you
really does.
because it's like, oh, it's a cartoon. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, I understand that.
Yeah.
It's a good hack.
So I'll show a lot more detail about this tomorrow on my live stream, but I'm really happy to be unveiling this, and I've got a long form video, about like a 9-minute video that I'll post up that people can go check out as well. That kind of goes through some of the highlights of building it, including things like using Suguru and magnets to be able to parts.
That's nice.
Ooh.
So there's a lot of fun stuff coming together here on my little.
Awesome.
Okay. Right on, we'll be playing your Make Code Minute video, some of the preview on Ask an Engineer, and then folks, don't forget to tune in to JP's show on Tuesday, Make Code Show, and then of course Thursday, JP's workshop.
Leave that to me.
Excellent.
It was a joke.
All right. Thank you so much,
All right,
JP.
thank you, by Thunderbot.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay.
All right, next up, hello, Scott. How are you?
It's
Hello. And my
Desktop.
Finder, yes.
Finder.
I've been mostly working on ESP32S2 SPY stuff, but I'm not going to talk about that today. If you want to know more, I'm streaming on Friday at 2 p.m. Pacific. But what I wanted to show today is something that I've been working on, which is getting the bootloader to be double tappable. It's actually surprisingly hard because the reset line is really a power line, and it resets all of the memory, which is not most of the micros we've used in the past. They actually preserve memory even though you reset the CPU itself. So I talked about this on my stream last week, but what I put together is this. I have this PCB that is reflecting and of course not focused either. I actually made it so I could just like pull up 8 lines next to each other. But what I did instead is I put a resistor and a capacitor on there, basically holding one pin outside of the ESP as a 1-bit memory, where the capacitor is large enough and the resistor is large enough as well that it takes a while to drain. So what I want to show is just that it's working. So it's on CircuitPython right now, but if I hit the reset button fast enough, it'll disappear. I think I got it. Yeah, so the NeoPixel's green now, and now we can see that it's in Scala 1R boot. And then if I want to get back to CircuitPython, you just hit reset again. It'll disappear.
Dun-dun-dun.
And because I didn't double tap it, I single tapped it. Now we get
There we
CircuitPython.
go, CircuitPy.
So I'm all for having all our boards work exactly the same way. So having double tap boot on here is something I'd love to see, and it's important to do now before we design hardware because it takes external hardware.
That's right. This is why we always work in tandem. We like bounce designs off of each other. So this is good. I will definitely add this to my hardware design.
Yeah, and it's just a 1 microfarad capacitor and a 100K resistor. So things that you should already have in the pick and place.
Yeah.
That are super easy.
Sweet. So. All right, that's great. I love it. I mean, there's a built-in ROM bootloader, so your people can, even if they brick the board somehow, you can always get it back. But for quick updating of CircuitPython
or anything else, we'll have a UF2 bootloader.
Great.
And that's thanks to Tack, who's asleep right now.
All right, thanks, Tack, who's asleep.
All right, and then everyone tune in for Scott's show on Friday. And I just wanted to bring in this. Scott, isn't it so cool what CircuitPython? I'm just like, I love it when the projects combine everything. Isn't this neat? Like, this is this is a lot of stuff that you worked on is now like playing right before our eyes.
I know, right? I think for me, it really emphasizes the idea of APIs being the same across a lot of different devices, right? Like this project is so easy because it's using the same display APIs as like a regular SPY screen is. So like the terminal stuff just works because we've like abstracted it away there.
Yeah.
And I think
we do it over and over and over and over again because of a different display. It actually just works wherever you put it.
Right. So yeah, I love that we do that. And as we get more and more devices, we have to be aggressive and still making sure that they're the same.
Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Because, with the things that we've tried so hard, like, wouldn't it be great if we could just drag and drop an image? Wouldn't it be great if we could just drag and drop an MP3? Wouldn't it be great if we could just put any screen on something?
Yeah, like everything that I had wrong with, I brought to Scott and I said, Scott, make it so I don't have to do this. And he's like, okay. Like,
anyways,
that's what we did.
Yeah, and it's you know, I love thinking about what are the things that we're gonna think 2 years from now, like how do we live without this?
Yeah.
For example, one thing I'd love to do with newer chips that have high-speed USB is actually mirroring what's on the display there up the USB link, so that when you're streaming in this situation, you could actually share a live kind of display feed alongside of it too. Would be awesome.
It's just one of those things I remember when we first started doing Circuit Python together. It was like maybe going to be called Adafruit Python, or who knows.
Almost 4 years ago now, I believe.
Almost 4 years ago. And when you drop this big idea, like, oh, you plug in the microcontroller and it shows up as a USB drive. And it was like, wow, as soon as you get used to that, there's no going back.
Right.
And 4 years later, it's like this is all built on this idea where there's so much complexity, but it's simple to do so many powerful things.
And it's important.
It's like as you unlock each thing, like Scott, like you added I2C to the ESP32S2. It's like, okay, cool, like 400 libraries now just work.
Yeah.
You know, an SPI, you're gonna get SPI working, and then it's like all the TFTs just work. Like you don't have to worry about all the high level stuff. You just have to slot in these low level designs, because we did a really good job with the API.
Yeah. And credit where credit is due, the USB drive thing is actually a MicroPython thing.
Yeah.
The thing that I pushed was the auto reload the code thing.
Yeah.
That CircuitPython does is when you save a file, it auto reloads. And I remember Lamore being like, and then you tried it and you were like,
this is great.
Yeah.
I'm not reminded.
And the thing is, that's why these are really powerful tools, because we're built on MicroPython. We're built on our open source. And there's so many things that go into this that it really needed to be this big effort. Like, let's make microcontrollers easy, just like Python made programming easy. But it's very powerful.
Totally.
So anyways, I wanted to just bounce back to this, because it's like, this has like the thing where it's like, oh, this has sweet and sour and umami. It's like the perfect taste. I'm just like, it has music and video and graphics, and it has like physical interaction. It's just like, this is so cool. And even if you're a beginner, you can change and modify this project away.
I'm just waiting for, like, we're working on, or we've started talking about like Katney's LED wall behind her having the REPL on it.
Yeah,
we'd like to do that.
And
or
the reason why you can't do, we sell NeoPixel matrices that
bigger matrices would
into
be awesome.
grids, and people make LED walls. We could run that using DMA, and then just have like these, this massive REPL.
Yeah.
Go to a sports stadium and take over one of theirs, and
that's right.
CircuitPython on the big jumbotron.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so everybody learn Python, because this is what you get to do with it.
It's easy.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much, Scott, and we'll see you on Friday.
Thank you,
Noe
Pedro, for
graphics
assistance.
Hand models. Okay. Paint Your Dragon.
Hey.
What you got going on this week?
I totally messed up. I didn't bring an LED matrix project.
You did like every other week the last 10 years.
Yeah, but then everybody brings their matrix project, and I forget. Did I show and tell the little logic analyzer breakout thing that I made?
I don't think so.
That's what I had to pick. Am I going to show off that, which is now across
show it next week.
Crapfield Computer.
I don't know if you know, we do this every week.
We'll be here next week for sure.
Yeah, I'll show that next week. Anyway, I decided to show crappy old computers. I'd shown this before. I think last year. It's a Tandy Radio Shack Model 100. It was a portable computer from 1983. And anyway, like on my last thrift store outing, like right before the Rona shut everything down, like last day out, I found its younger brother at a thrift store, the Model 102. Like somebody coughed on me at the thrift store, and I was terrified and stuff. But anyway, it's like in just pristine condition. It is amazing that I found one like this. And from the front, they look just about the same, but it's like about a 1/4 inch thinner. It's a pound lighter. Has a
modern. It's so portable.
It has a nicer keyboard, but anyway, I was going to say these things were ahead of their time, but I don't think that's accurate. It's more like they were in like a pocket universe where time went sideways, because since then, 1983, 1986. There have only been like a couple machines that have used this form factor, and then it just went away. Everything went laptop after that. So they're just this like weird artifact from this pocket universe that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah, it's like a Galapagos island. So I have it. Yeah, and
Nice.
it's like
This is a
what-
TRS-80.
Yeah,
Classic.
but it's like it was like a platypus. You know, it's like too weird to go
But it's
away.
like
with.
really cool, right?
Yeah,
Like,
there's no storage media on it. It just had battery-backed RAM. And, you know, as a sign of the era these things came from, typically it was journalists who used them. You hooked it up, you had an acoustic modem with it, you know, talk about time period, and you hooked that up to a payphone, which is another thing that just doesn't exist anymore. And it was a thing. It was its own whole thing with.
yeah, you would send your stories up. You'd zip them out, and then you'd zip them out over the modem.
Yep. And one or two companies, you know, later on, Cambridge and someone else, and they didn't make a dent after that. We all went laptop after that. Maybe that's for the better. I don't know, but it's just a neat, very tactile, nice form factor that I like.
All right, sweet.
Yep.
I think if journalists don't do a good job and don't check facts, they have to be assigned.
The TRS-80.
They have to be assigned technology in a different era, and like as they keep making mistakes, they just have to use an older and older and older computer. It's or even, you know, other things. But that's my idea.
And then they have to find a payphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's probably the hardest part.
Yeah. Because think about it, like how much fact checking and due diligence they will do if they're like, oh no, like if I get this wrong, I'm going to go have to find a payphone for 45 minutes. So, anyways, these are just ideas. All right, you got anything else this week?
I do not, just funky old computers.
That's cool stuff.
All right, well, come by next week and show off the other project that you're talking
Yeah,
about.
the analyzer.
All right.
That's how you made all this magic happen.
Well, good to see you, Phil.
Likewise.
All right, thank
Okay,
you.
next up, we're going to go to Brian and Brian's screen.
Hello.
Hello. So, I'm sorry, is it dark in here? Let me just adjust the lighting here. Oh, there we go. Yes. So, through the magic of CircuitPython, janky wiring, and a couple of zip ties, I was able to put a power relay, feather wing, and a hacked apart AC adapter for charging USB charger for phones into a little junction box, and wired up to a CLUE and attached it to the new light that I installed after I broke one last week. So you can see my repo here. It's really, you know, it's CircuitPython. It's super simple. You can see I'm on a CLUE, importing a couple things that I use to talk to the CLUE. I'm making a digital IAO here, which is the pin that the relay is on, set the direction, and then true or false, we'll turn the light on or off.
Magic.
Forward. Yeah, I realized after I put this all together, you know, it's only so useful for the room that I'm in all the time. Like, am I gonna really not want to get up and flip the light switch? But oh well. So this is a picture of the super professional, totally up to code, not gonna burn my house down install. This is
Looks
the
Looks good.
junction box, got the old wiring come in, new metal cable going out. Let's see what else we got. More stuff. Here's a wider shot where you can see it's wired into this, you know, super professional job. Let's see, here's a couple of shots of this. Is an older version of the junction box that I was putting together. This is the DC converter that I hacked apart. This is my little helper. I got a new bearded dragon. He just fell asleep on the back of my shirt. I thought I'd throw that in. And then sometimes he likes to curl up next to his water bowl and be super.
That's cute.
So
That's cute.
there you go.
All right, good dragon.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
Brian.
write that down. Yeah, there's a dragon too.
Okay. And next up on deck, we're going to go to Alex, and then we're going to go to Liz, and then to Mark. Give you a bit of a heads up. Okay, Alex.
Hey, Alex.
Hello. What you got going on this week?
I'm going to quickly share my screen to show you.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, so I've been working on the thermal reference. I ditched the ceramic resistors and decided to go towards a PCB heater. So this is just one continuous trace on the back with a temperature sensor in the middle and a copper plane on the back. So over here, I have a thermal cam set up, and I just got this working a few days ago. One of the problems I'm having is there is still a gradient of like 1.5 degrees across the entire thing. And I think that's because I didn't break the ground plane down here. So this chunk of the ground plane under the electronics is heat sinking it. So I'm going to spin this board again and put like some sort of cutout there to thermally isolate it a little bit better. But other than that, I think the PCB heater approach is much better than the resistor approach.
That looks really good. Yeah, I mean, like there's a gradient, but it's a smooth gradient.
Also, this is what it looks like. It has a tripod mount, so you can put it on a tripod.
That's so cool. It's cool that like 3D printing technology is being used for PPE technology. I love it.
Cool.
Right.
I think I'm good.
All right.
Well,
Nice
thank you so
work.
much.
One last thing, I'd like to shout out to Professor Fisher at WPI, who's been giving me advice and helping me. So I forgot to do that last time.
Okay.
Shout outs don't expire and they can't be late. So
Okay.
they're always good to do. All right. Well, thank you so much, Alex.
All right. Thank you, Alex.
Cool project.
Keep
All
coming
right.
by.
Liz, how are you doing this week?
Hey, Liz.
Hey, how are you? So I've been working more on the Blinka Jump game. I think
you want us to share your screen?
Oh yeah, I just shared my screen, sorry.
Yeah, I'll do that right now.
Thank you.
Okay, great.
What I did was before it was just a single tile grid that was being split up, but Scott mentioned in the chat last week that I could probably speed it up, so I looked a little deeper, and so now everything's a lot smoother because I separated it out into pixels. And so the smoke monsters randomly generate. I've only got 2 randomly generating now, but I'm pretty excited about this. And it just froze, and that's never happened before, but that's live demos. But yeah, it's basically just.
That's great.
Thank you. Yeah.
All right. Awesome. Thanks. All right. Cool stuff. All right. Thanks for coming by. So it's going to be an upcoming guide, and then we're going to get you to making more robotic musical instruments soon, I think.
Yes.
Very
yes.
exciting.
There's things cooking.
Okay, cool. All right.
Cool. Thank you.
All right, awesome. And then people, don't forget, Liz also has a video show you can check out.
Yes.
All right.
Okay. Thank
so
you,
much,
Liz.
Now we're going to go to Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hi. So I got tired of robotics, and my robot and me are spending some time apart. So I went back to the first project I ever really worked on, which was a weather station. So Noe and Pedro's videos have been so helpful in learning Fusion 360 and everything. And so I was able to build a little radiation shield. It's a BME 280 in there, to put that outside and not have it by the electronics and directly in the sun. And we've actually had a lot of hot weather the last few days, so it's been a really good test. And after a lot of iterations actually of building this, it's working well beyond what I ever thought. And definitely the 3D Hangout videos were so invaluable for this. So not only for the radiation shield, I'll figure that later. This is also why I asked an engineer last night about connectors. Let me see if all the parts stretch. The case for all the electronics and the solar panel hanging behind it. So it's not waterproof yet, but it's running M0 with the Wi-Fi and a SparkFun Solar Buddy for the solar panel and the charging. So I've had it outside. It's all reporting on Adafruit.io, which is working amazingly. And has led me to my next project that's still under consideration, is getting all this data and then displaying it hopefully on an e-ink display inside, so I can just get up in the morning and see what the weather is on my deck.
Sweet.
That's cool. I think this is another neat example of, 3D printing when it came out and how it's easier and more accessible to electronics. That didn't line up at the same, time and date, but now we're closer. Like you have access to a 3D printer, and you have access to electronics and lots of code, and you have something like Adafruit.io, and then you have Noe and Pedro's, really comprehensive how to design stuff in 3D, and now it's all coming together. Like the slot machine project, that kind of brings everything with CircuitPython. Like yours is like, this is a perfect IoT project that was so hard to do in the past, but now, you know, you still need, like, you're like, oh my gosh, just if I had 3D printing, now you got that part. Like, it's just like, oh, so close, but now you really can.
You pick the skills that you need.
Yeah, you can really build all these things now.
And when I started on this project, it was 4 or 5 years ago, and there wasn't the accessible 3D printing, and that's exactly what stopped me.
Yeah.
Is I had a weather vane that I was able to buy, but everything else, I was like, well, I could cut up an old container and glue it together, but it's just not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. This case isn't waterproof yet, so it's actually been sitting in Tupperware outside. That's the next step as well. Is
We'll get there.
A million years ago, when MakerBot had kind of gone from a side project to a company, they when we were stocking them and shipping them, we did a bundle pack where you got a MakerBot and then you got a bunch of electronics that you would build and then print the enclosures for it. And we thought that was like a really neat combination. But you know, that was a different time and place where that wasn't really the emphasis of what you were going to do with a 3D printer, besides like, I have a 3D printer, I'm going to print a Yoda head. But I really think that combination is still there. I'm curious if there's going to be a 3D printing company out there that sees the benefit. Like, if you do electronics, you need to make enclosures.
Yeah.
And if you have a 3D printer, you have to do something with it. You can't just use it as a 3D printer. It's an activity that goes with
it
something
combines
else.
with something else.
Yeah.
It's a tool. It's like, there's no like, I'm going to go play with my saw. It's like, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah,
Use a saw to build something.
Yeah. And I just got one for my birthday a couple months ago, and finally I was like, wait, I got a use for this besides printing Yoda heads.
Yeah. Right
so and just again, the 3D Hangout videos have been so valuable for this.
Awesome.
And anyone that needs to learn that's the way to go.
Right on.
Teachers.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Mark, and keep coming back with some of these projects.
Awesome.
Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you, Mark.
Okay, that's our show for tonight, everybody. We're going to chill before Ask an Engineer. We're going to be able to get a couple more things in the show because I got a couple more minutes. Today was jam-packed.
It was so jam-packed.
We had a city council meeting, and then we had a bunch of meetings, and then like lots happening. But want to thank everyone for coming together. Every single week we do this, 7 p.m. We're going to keep doing this for a while. We'll see how long we keep doing the hour-long format. It's been working out pretty well. And if we get done early, that's always good too, because we have a couple minutes between the shows.
Yeah, I've been on videos since like 2.
Yeah, lots of videos. And we'll see everybody next week. Thanks for making this the best half an hour of our week every single week. We'll be here next week, Wednesday, 7 p.m. And Ask an Engineer starts at 8 p.m. We'll see everybody in a few minutes.
Thanks, everybody. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
See you next week.